Hello. Today I will be explaining about variable types. There are three basic types of variables. The first being numeric. A numeric variable type is separated into a number of different categories. First that we're going to deal with is integer. That, like in math class, is just a -3, 0, 5, 12, something like that that doesn't have a decimal. And basically now we need to, after we have defined what kind of variable type that we're using, we now need to give it a name. And we generally want to use a useful name. For example, if we're dealing with population, we're going to call it pop or population, just to make it simple so we know what we're dealing with. Then at the beginning, you generally want to give it an abbreviation for what kind of variable type you're dealing with. For example, you can call it I population or int population, so you know that you're dealing with an integer. And then you can do that. And this is basically what we had in the previous tutorial. One step further here is we can define it here using an equals, and then we can give it a value instead of prompting the user for it. If we already know that we want to start out with this variable being 5, we can give it the value 5 if we want. And basically what this is doing is it defines this variable, and then it uses this variable, which will now take the value of 5. Basically, when you have a single equals in C++, or in most languages, you are going to be saying this value on the left is now going to take the value of this on the right. So now integer population has a value of 5 once this line is completed. The next type of numeric data types that I'm going to deal with is the double, which is basically any number, and you can use decimals in this. So basically we're going to just deal with integers, those without decimals, and doubles with decimals. And basically you just want to use a variable integer if you know you're only going to get integer values. For example, a population, you can't have half a person, so you're going to use that. But if you're doing, say, statistics on something or other, you're going to probably have decimals in your percents, so you probably don't want an integer. And doubles do take up more space, which is why you want to avoid them if you can, but it's not a big deal if you need to use them, because obviously it won't function properly, which is the ultimate goal. So this can be 1.235 or whatever else value you want. The second type, or second category of data types, is the text type of variable, which basically at the simplest level is a character, which we can have be encased in a single quote and given it a value of whatever we want, and there our character var is going to have the value of the character A. It's simple enough there. Characters don't come up a ton in what I've seen, but it's just something good to know. One that does come across a lot is the string. A string is basically a series of characters strung together. Which basically you have encased in double quotes, and you can have whatever number or whatever normal characters, you can have numbers, you can have any other symbols like that, all encased in quotes, and everything right in here, that's the value. You can even have spaces for all I care. And that's going to be your value. The third type only has one part to it. It's Boolean, which is basically true and false. It's the simplest data type because you only have two values that you can possibly give it. These will be used a lot more when dealing with conditionals, so I won't get too in-depth with them now. But basically, you can call them you can just give it a value of true, and or you can give it a value of false. Basically, it's not too complicated and seems rather pointless now, most likely, but later on I will be explaining where it is used. So that concludes the variable portion of my tutorial. Thank you for watching.